Hey, check on another computer. How is the live coming up?
I don't have another computer to check on.
Okay. I'm going to. Hey, good morning. Good morning, India. Good afternoon, England. Good evening in California, and sleepy time in East Coast. Welcome you all. This is the MedBix webcast. It's a daily way for medicine.com. My name is Ramana Namaraju. I'm your host right now. So we have an exciting guest today. Her name is Cathedra Phillips. She is the founder of the Neuro Cafe, and I will be introducing you shortly. But you know that we are going through a lot of in this country, around the world, as a mental health catastrophe because of supply chain economics and other financial problems and family problems is mounting on us because of the pandemic and other factors related to pandemic. So we need to really find a mass solution for relaxation. We are Everybody needs it. It's not just some mentally sick people. All the people, executive functioning is a functioning of a basic, plan, execute, and get the outcomes. Everything is missing with us. That is a big for executive functioning. Is a very essential for all humans. All for all of us, even for the animals. So we need to execute and plan. These are all missing. So we need a really relaxation techniques that we need it. We need some kind of a technology to help us to relax more. So that's what Cathedra Phillips is going to talk about it, the founder of Neuro Cafe. So I'm going to play some video before just it gives you some introduction to what is Neuro Cafe. And then after that, I will introduce you, Mrs. Phillips. Um,
Hi, my name is Ursula Lentini, and I have been meditating since I was 18 years old, and that's decades now, so we won't talk about that. I really understand meditation. I do subconscious work. I lead in meditation, and I've been leading Twin Hearts meditation since 2008. I just experienced the A-Reach program, and I'm very fascinated. I'm excited about it and what it can do. The chemical for parasympathetic and sympathetic is definitely changing. So the stress that children or young adults are carrying can be relieved. So when you can move from the sympathetic back into the parasympathetic, which these videos and sounds and colors and tones, everything, that whole saturated experience does, it will reharmonize that child into their natural state. And the more often that they do that, the more it will come naturally. So I'm very excited about your product. All the best of luck to you.
You need self-work and you still need to feel perfection. See, it's funny how your little brain cells work cause you always gonna build new connections. Yeah, mastermind with A-Reach. Mastermind with A-Reach. Pattern line and that's how you find it.
So let me, this is, let me bring, so now give me 1 minute, I'm fixing all this. Okay, welcome Cassandra Phillips, founder of Neuro Cafe. You know that is the last one is played by Ramesh Anam-Raju, is Alexander, he's a singer, he writes the jingles, and I'm proud that played that song. Tell me the history and then your passion for Neuro Cafe, Cathedra, and what inspired you and how you like it, where are you located at, all those things you can explain to our audience.
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you, Ramona, for having me on the show. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share information on such a vital program that you've actually been an asset to. So, Neuro Cafe is an addition to a youth program that we initiated with a focus on helping the mental health of young people. So, this program is designed with a lot of capabilities to capture all ages, all backgrounds of people, utilizing stimulating technologies and things of that nature to really help enhance the regulatory system and skills to be able to increase that calming and also enhance the focus ability so that we have healthier lives and more peak performance. So, super excited about the program. The way that the sessions are set up, they are broken into a 40-minute and 60-minute session that allows an immediate calming experience with the virtual reality and the saturated experience of being in the goggles, right? And a guided meditation with compassionate voice, lots of sensory details and things of that nature. And then the second part of the session allows a brain training with a neurofeedback exercise to allow the participants to be aware of their mental states and also learn how they can have more regulatory ability to go from focus to calm. So it's a really, really amazing thing. I'm super passionate about mental health. I'm an advocate for mental health first and foremost. So this is one of the ways that I can really just push my passion out to the people and reduce this crisis that is connected to the mental health that we're currently in.
Very good. You know that one of the things that a technical explanation I want to give a little bit about it is that our brain is like electromagnetic radiation. It emits the radiation, which is like an electric bulb. Basically, is a bulb when electricity passes through our brain. It is a electromagnetic radiation. It emits. So it is like a 10 watts bulb. You're watching a 10 watts bulb. So it has a beta waves, alpha waves, gamma waves, theta waves, delta waves. These are the special different wave. That's a different frequencies of the radiation is a photons radiation. There's different frequencies. So beta waves is when you do critical thinking. That is beta waves. That what we need when you're driving, for example, you need a beta waves. Very critical thinking is required. So and then But you can't be all the times driving. You can't be all the times thinking. You need to relax. That's alpha waves. That's where you need to calm down. That is where people don't know how to turn on fast enough to calm down. That's where they stay there on the longer time on the beta wave spectrum. That's where it causes depression and other psychological disorders. So that's why we need the mental health is a mass problem in this country and around the world. In fact, even the countries that you never heard of mental illness, because this is social studies are failing. The pandemic caused a lot of supply chain problems and is creating a more catastrophe adding to this process. So we need a mass mental health relaxation technique. We could easily access that hacking, consciousness hacking is the key. So, that first of all, then tomorrow I'm going to talk with Dr. Alexander about consciousness. But here, how do we do the technology from Silicon Valley that I witnessed it? How do they do the consciousness hacking? That is a very interesting thing. And so, Katedra, my question to you is, are people all ages are good? What are the ages that they can come at your place and they do the meditation, or how does it work? Suppose somebody wants to sign up and go through the program. How does it work? How many weeks program, or how much time it needs for each one to spend?
So our recommended amount of sessions is anywhere from 14 to 20 sessions to start to see the effectiveness in your day-to-day activity from the training that you've had throughout these sessions. With our youth program that we've designed, it is an 8-week program that allows young people to meditate twice a week, and that is a 90-minute session with other things entailed. We do take a multidimensional approach with our wellness. So, not only are we providing state of the art technologies that are doing a lot of the advanced work to reprogram that subconscious mind and give influx of positivity to outweigh those negative thoughts and those dominant brain waves that are causing a lot of the illnesses that you mentioned, but also we do aromatherapy. We provide tea-based smoothies with raw honey and other nutrient values that allows this wraparound wellness experience for every client that comes in, as well as journaling. So we're doing a multidimensional approach to ensure that there's an aggressiveness to ensure for all our clients to experience calmness, relaxation, but also understand how to increase and enhance that focus to be able to have more executive functions and things of that nature. And
So,
the ages that we work with are 13 and up.
So there is a two parts training, right? One is the virtual reality. The second part is the neurofeedback, which is the brain training program. So explain to us neurofeedback and virtual reality. What do you do in VR with a VR camera? What kind of VR virtual reality you use it? What kind of technology you use it for the neurofeedback? Could you please elaborate on that one?
Absolutely. So we use a virtual reality headset, also with a software that takes you through a guided meditation experience, awaken a lot of sensory details, lots of compassionate voice, lots of colors, and things of that nature, while doing a engagement exercise to increase the focus throughout the movement in the virtual reality experience. That experience lasts anywhere from 6 to 12 minutes, and then they go into a neurofeedback exercise where they are wearing a EEG headband, and we have different softwares that focuses largely on increasing the focus and also the relaxation and how to shift from one to another while and also being aware of which state you're currently in and the activity of your brain waves.
That so anybody can sign up and then go through this process. What is VR will do for them, and then why do you need the neurofeedback? What is the connection between these two? If you can elaborate on that one.
Absolutely. So, what the virtual reality experience is doing is a reprogramming experience. It's a very saturated experience in a computer generated environment that is aggressively putting off. The things that are reharmonizing the mental state in the body, as well as relaxing that nervous system. And then with the neurofeedback, it's biofeedback. So it's active feedback to understand what states you're in at that current time, and they request you to shift to different states such as focus and relaxation, and allowing you to be aware when you do reach those goals, so that you can be more available to regulate that when you are not utilizing in session and you're going throughout your day to day.
What kind of equipment do you use for this VR, virtual reality part?
So we use an Oculus headphone for the Oculus headset for the virtual reality.
What about the neurofeedback training? How do you do that? Is it
With the
last
neurofeedback, we use a brain link device.
Okay. So these are two combinations would help. Not only just to VR, you can immediately instant relaxing because the visual channels are occupied and it relaxes you. But if you keep it for a long time, you need the training program to help you to stay there forever. What are the benefits? What are the actual benefits that you see? Relaxation is one. What is the benefit of the relaxing can achieve for example, or people with the problems, and what are you, people with not with the mental disease, but just regular people? What are the things benefits they can benefit from this experience?
Absolutely. So, in this day and time, of course, there are a lot of things that we're dealing with on a day to day. If it's not just watching the news or any of the media outlets, it's just a lot of challenges that we've experienced on a nationwide base, right? So these things that the virtual reality experience can give that your brain more, your subconscious mind, more positive affirmations, more positive thoughts, and more positive speaking, so that that will be reprogramming your inventory for your thoughts, so that you don't continue to cycle around negative thoughts and negativity that can cause other issues as you go throughout your day-to-day or life, that leads to those mental illnesses such as depression and so anxiety and so on and so forth. And with the brain link, the neurofeedback, obviously, as we mentioned, it's a teaching of training so that you understand how to shift when you are into those negative thoughts or things are coming up as they do in our day-to-day life experiences. We are aware how to de-escalate and decompress ourselves and shift into a more relaxed feeling or a more focused feeling when we're working on things and we just can't seem to get our focus in front of us. This is something that can help you enhance the ability to have more control of your mental states, as opposed to just allowing the things around you to control that.
Where do you take this place? Is it a physical place or is it
Yes, we do have a location in Atlanta in the heart of Buckhead, but we're on a mission, right? So our mission is to have a nationwide chain of these brain training centers, so they're more accessible to more people, because we know that the need is very great for the services that we offer.
what is your website? How can they reach you? Cathedra?
Absolutely. The website is theneurocafe.com. That's TheNeurocafe.com. And we're on many social media all the social media platforms under the Neuro Cafe as well.
So hold on for a few minutes. I'm going to show a presentation. After that, we'll come back and ask you one or two questions after that. Let me go back to my presentation, and you will be there on the side.
Okay.
So I'm going to do fractal medicine, very related to the mental health. I'm going to talk about this program. It's called fractal medicine. I'm introducing. The drugs are no. Say no to drugs. Drugs are not going to solution the problems. This is not a treatment. It's a mental relaxation techniques that we are proposing and what is cathedra is talking about Neuro Cafe. She meant that the founder of the Neuro Cafe was saying. But so actually, the story starts with the woman named Erin. She was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer in Seattle. Her doctor is an Indian physician, Dr. Sunil Agarwal, is on in Seattle. Is actual physical medicine and rehabilitation physician from Seattle, and she was a end stage cancer patient. And all these years, the doctors know how to treat people who are sick, who are treating. They really don't have too many tools how to deal with the dying patients. They usually they hand over to the hospice or end stage counselors, but that is not enough. We need to have certain things. So Dr. Sunil Agarwal thought about psilocybin, a drug is related to the mushrooms they call, but it's something is chemical is inside that is a psychedelic drug he wants to prescribe. And the federal government said no, it is a Schedule 1 drug. You cannot prescribe psilocybin to the people, even the controlled environments. They're very strict about it. So the both of them went to the court, federal court, the federal lawsuit in federal court, and they are fighting the drug administration. They're fighting the Center for Medicare Services and all the host of other difference in the federal government. But she's a single mother with 2 children. She is consumed by these dying thoughts. She wants to get a break from that dying thoughts. So that's why she wants to be she wants to get a prescription for psilocybin, and their doctor wants to recommend that, but it is not possible with the situation we are in. So actually, psychedelic drug is basically a chemical compound called is a DMT. Is a chemical compound. It is a mushrooms. They call street mushrooms. They call LSD. There are different names. But this is a controlled environment. This is like they want to do this in New York, Langone, and then University of Berkeley. They started studies on the John Hopkins. They did a study on the psychedelics with the administering psychedelic drugs, psilocybin, on the depressed patients. The outcomes are outstanding. 80% of the subjects felt administered one single dose, their depression went away. That's what the report said. It is a stunning results. It's giving these psychedelic medicines, but that's the studies are going on. But we cannot prescribe psychedelics to the entire world, right? Everybody is going through now depression, even though Trump administration passes the Right to Try Act, which is that you can try everything when a dying patient do. But federal agencies, they're reluctant to enforce it, because understandably so, because it's always it leaks into the recreational side. People, that's one of their fears, understandably so. So it's kind of a hard rock and hard place you are in between. So all the dying patients need to relax, some kind of a break. But this is one of the things that the results are much more encouraging from the New York Langone and the John Hopkins. The studies are outstanding in the psilocybin 200 milligrams. That is the dose that it is actually there were these are John Hopkins side and all the other places you can see it. The results are outstanding for this drug. So not only just Erin she is the end stage cancer patient. In fact, to be honest with you, we are all going through some mental crisis right now. The whole world, 8 billion people are on the crisis with this supply chain. If the 2 months of real disruption is already happening, then we are going to be in a catastrophe in our hands. If we don't admit, that is we have to address this problem, mental health crisis, and every country needs to come back with a strategic planning. But if you ask a country what is their problem, the mental health, what are the problems are long COVID, supply chain problem, and then eventually they result in the racial violence. They result in street violence, domestic violence. All these things come out of the mental health problems. A lot of times, this what happened in Uvalde, that in Texas, the kid went to the kid got the he has a certainly mental health problems, sure, and they say he doesn't have it, but he has to be something has to be there. He went there and killed a young. He is himself is a kid, and he went there and killed 19 kids and 2 teachers. This is a really serious problem. We need to come back with some strategic solution from the government side. But what are the solutions they have? So no, this is not just a United States problem. This is a world mental mess. We are in a mental mess around the world. 1 billion people live with the mental disorder, one way or the one or any mental disorder. 1 billion out of 8 billion, 8.5 billion. We have 1 billion people with a mental disorder. Think about how many people walking with serious mental disorders. So we all need some kind of a help. So what are the solutions we can look for from the government? It's not too many, because some of the problems are there's a stigma attached to it. There is an access problem because it is not all too many psychiatrists and psychologists and counselors. You need a large number of them to address this market. And then cost. There is not the insurance companies are not reimbursing well enough, and it's not attracting the new crowd in this field. It's still not well funded. Mental health is still the physical health is funded very well, but the mental health is not very well funded programs. So we need to really reorganize ourselves, and then we need to find a mass solution for our problems. Even for the regular everyday folks like you and me, we need some kind of mental health relaxation. So the fractal medicine, I'm going to talk about it. Because the fractal medicine I'm going to introduce you some new concept here. So, there is something underlying between all of them. If you see the Plato, and you see Buddha, you see cross, that is Jesus, Christianity, and the David Star, all of them underlying something interesting. The mathematical concept underlying behind that. I'm going to you'll be surprised what is that mathematical structure behind this, all these symbols and everything that we pray. So it is called symmetry. What is the beauty? We are, if you see the Denzel Washington, Marilyn Monroe, or Aishwarya Roy, the Indian actress, Bollywood actress, we consider them as beautiful. What is beauty? If you draw a line between the face and between the eyebrows, then if the left side structure looks very similar to right side structure, that is called bilateral symmetry. If you maintain good bilateral symmetry, left side looks exactly like the right side, that is, we consider them as more beautiful. See in the butterfly on the right hand side, you see the diamonds. We like diamonds. They're perfect symmetry. In fact, that I used to live in New York City. There was my office next door to an office. They used to clean the diamonds. They rearrange the atoms in the inside. I don't know how they do that with the laser beams. Physics, I should know, but I think that there was that symmetry, in fact, is embedded in our system, our nature. We always admire symmetry in the symmetry, and also you experience. If you see, we are bilateral symmetry. Our body is more or less a bilateral symmetry. Right side looks right side. It's a little bit different for humans and some of the animals, but if you look side, you see the bilateral symmetry. Somehow nature encompasses, the bilateral symmetry. So if you see compulsive disorder, OCD symmetry, OCD is considered to be is a extreme need. They used to think it is a bilateral. It is a psychological disorder. I had a friend I don't want to say her name, she will kill me, but she is like that. She's perfect. Everything has to be in place. If you take bread somewhere and put in the left side, she will go nuts. So those are people who are in extreme need of this dimensional. What they're thinking is what they're saying. The new research is suggesting it is an actually evolutionary genetic disorder. It's a genetic disorder through evolution. It's an extreme need for symmetry, extreme need for perfection, symmetrical nature, symmetry, bilateral symmetry. And that's what we are looking for. All the symmetries, everything has to be in place. That is what OCD people. This is not, may not be psychological disorder. It may be a evolutionary genetic disorder. This is what need for. That's what we are born with the need for extreme symmetry that we are seeking for. The symmetry is so embedded in our lives. Even when you compare, that is, symmetry, women, there is a research done, women have more orgasms, with the people, men with a symmetrical body, body of symmetry. It's not a athletic, symmetric bodies. Even athletic body, if it's a asymmetric bodies, they are turned off. In fact, people with the asymmetric faces and everything, they go through a lot of depression. They usually show aggression because of that people, the way they treat them. So they show aggressive behavior because people with asymmetric nature in the faces. So the symmetry is such a fundamental role. Even the honeybees, for example, they get attracted to not for just honey alone. They see a radially symmetric flowers, a flowers symmetry. They see if a perfectly shaped flower, they see the beauty and they go for it. Even the honeybees like that symmetry. That's a beauty that defines the beauty through symmetry. Even the honeybees. So it's a very embedded. If you see why this symmetry is so fundamental to us, why we like symmetry, why it is actually, if you go for it, it is all the way to belong to the universe itself. So I'm a physics student. I have a master's in physics. We studied a lot of laws of conservation laws, energy conservation, momentum conservation, angular momentum. These are energy is neither created nor destroyed. That is a law of conservation of energy. So actually, those were all cheat sheets for the physics people. It's a short, the cheat sheet actually. The laws behind these conservation laws are symmetry itself, the symmetrical nature. So suppose you take a snowflake, you turn around, you don't see the difference. In any turn you take it on, that is a reflective. You cannot tell the differences. Spatial symmetry. Then these are the different symmetries they have. For example, if you're in this place or you go to a different place, their laws are same. When you throw a ball when you throw an apple to the sky, to the up, it will come down. Either you're in Atlanta, or you're in San Francisco, or in China. Doesn't matter. It comes down. Okay. So that is a symmetry exists. The symmetry exists. So you have conservation about the time. Time symmetry actually produces energy that it creates. The energy conservation time symmetry relates to the energy conservation. So the energy time conservation means today I am throwing a ball into the up, it will come. Tomorrow it's also, it will come down. It's no different between today and tomorrow. The time is that's a symmetry. Laws are applied in the universe. So the laws of symmetry are embedded in the universe. We came from there. We're stardust. We're following certain rules, symmetry in our lives, in our bodies, everywhere. So symmetry is all over the place. Is from the beginning to the end. So nature obviously absorbs the symmetry. You see the flowers, you see the diamonds, you see the beautiful nature of the symmetry, perfectly done. That symmetry, the nature absorbs this, it follows this laws of symmetry. So that means if you rotate around it, or that's a rotational symmetry, translation symmetry, or any other symmetries that you do, that it follows. By the way, I forgot to tell you this woman. I didn't. Emmy Nather. Sorry, that I don't. That's my fault. Emmy Nather. She's a mathematician from Germany, and then she was loaned to the physics side of it. She just very brief time she spent some time in the physics side, and she found out these laws of symmetry are the fundamental of the universe, not the laws of conservation of energy, law of angular momentum. These are not fundamental. The symmetry is fundamental. That is the key for the all the laws of all the physical laws. So she came to the last. She was in 1892, and I think in 1930 she died in Philadelphia. She was teaching in Philadelphia, and when she was at the young age, 53 or 54. She was a brilliant woman. Actually, when she was hired by, there were no woman teachers at the time, woman professors. And David Hilbert, another famous mathematician from Germany, hired her in Germany. So all the soldiers got during the World War One and all those places, they got mad. What do you think the woman they're learning from woman? We cannot be under the feet of the woman to learn. Then David Hilbert responded. There's a famous response that he said, "This is not a bathhouse. This is a university. We have to learn. You came here to learn, not for the bathhouse." That's what he said. That David Hilbert is a famous mathematician. So she is one of the most genius women of all times. So she settled in Philadelphia, and after came to the United States, within a short period of 2 years, she died. So remarkable story. Emmy Noether is one of the truly remarkable women of mathematics and physics. So that's what she found out, that nature absorbs these laws of symmetry. So when you see a beauty, a sunset or the mountains or the seas, you see a beautiful, smooth sides of it. You see a beautiful of the beauty you see that you admire, But if you see much closer to it, it's like a definition. For example, standard TV looks like this, and high definition TV looks like this. You much closer you're looking at it, right? So that is where the Star Trek movie. These are all they one of the movies they used this fractal geometry. In fact, I wanted to say that they used this symmetry kind of fractals. The fractals. I'm going to explain to you what the fractals are. When you go further, this is a fractals. So you look at the seashore, right? It looks exactly, beautiful and smooth and nice. But if you go further, zoom into the further zoom into that to the there. At the end of the spectrum, that what you see is actually a shape, very strange looking shape. That's what they see on the left hand side. This is called Mandelbrot. An IBM engineer discovered this. I thought that I had his picture somewhere missing. But anyway. So that is called a Mandelbrot set. Mandelbrot set is a fundamental geometrical structure. Okay. It is, you build the entire thing is built upon the geometrical structure like the Mandelbrot fractals. That is, so when you design from the bottom to the top, just like you can design the Mandelbrot fractals. So Star Trek movies, you would not have seen that, that the planet was born. One of the various Star Trek crew was done through fractal geometry. They employed the new mathematics called fractals. Fractals are a fundamental unit of geometry. It is a Mandelbrot, IBM engineer. He discovered the fractals. This is called Mandelbrot set. So they use a Mandelbrot. There's one that missing. I'm sorry, I misplaced it somewhere. It is about Mandelbrot. Mandelbrot is an IBM engineer. He's from Austria. Poland. Then he moved to Paris, and then came to the United States. IBM hired him. There was a noise coming from I will show you a video probably that would be good for you to understand a little bit about the fractals. So there's a noise coming from the telephone lines. So that you wanted to understand the noise. What he found out is the noise, irrespective of the distance, the noise is exactly looks same. So he found out by understanding it, he found out shapes. So self-similarity they call. Self-similarity called. That is a so picture within the picture. So when you keep looking at it, this shape never ends. You know what I'm saying is this shape on the left hand side never ends. Picture within the picture, picture within. If you take the seashore, keep focusing on it, it's keep on going like that. If you go further down, it looks the same thing. Further, it is subdivided into the same. Not only whole contains the parts, part also contains the whole. That's a great concept of that picture within the picture, picture within the picture, same concept. Geometry within the geometry, same thing. It repeats, self-similarity. That's called fractals. Misanabame is a French word, picture within the picture. There's no English word for it, but there's a French, they use a special word, misanabame. So fractals are everywhere. You see in the human body, the middle one is a virus structure. So it embodies the virus looks like a fractals. If a human body is full of fractals, where lungs or a nervous system, all they look like a fractals. If you see the coronaries, if you see on the right side, my right side, you will probably your left side. So that is also in the coronaries looks like a fractals. So our human body embodies the fractals. In fact, it's a very part of the fractals are part of our bodies everywhere. He exhibits. Even the brain as a fractal geometry does. I'll explain to you that only. So 5 minutes a day, 25 minutes a week, if you do this kind of a Cathedra was talking about, the Neuro Cafe, it's just brain training program, using employ them, you can really can make a difference in this one, So Mandelbrot is a mathematician, engineer, IBM engineer who invented this one. I'm going to play a small video about this fractals, and so I'm supposed it gives you some idea about you really admire, you can appreciate the Mandelbrot contribution of the fractals. Give me 1 second. I will upload that one. Okay. Then I'll bring back. I will bring back Cathedra back. I think I am. This is, I hope. Okay. I'm going to show you this video. Gives you a better idea. I'm a little rushing everything. So this video I played for all of you. So let me let you watch.
For mental relaxation, early human civilizations in the East practiced Buddha's teachings, while in the West they performed rituals. One place they mastered the consciousness through meditation, and other place they altered consciousness through psychedelics. But there is another alternative technique called consciousness hacking through technological innovation. A mathematical equation through virtual reality can offer and alter and master consciousness at the same time. A genius painter from Japan, a legendary scientist from Princeton University, and an engineer from IBM came from different walks of life, from different times, made important contributions for consciousness hacking. Benoit Mandelbrot was hired by IBM to solve a nagging problem in the early days of telecommunications. The problem is a noise popping up while sending the data across telephone lines. Noise is an undesirable or unwanted signal that gets randomly added to the actual information carrying signal. Mandelbrot noticed a fixed pattern of noise repeating across the telephone lines irrespective of the distance the data traveled. Mandelbrot recollected seeing a similar idea before, a picture of a giant wave on a children's spiral notebook. The picture is the original painting from 18th century well-known Japanese artist Katsushika Hokusai. It is called the Great Wave of Kanagawa. Look at any part of the Great Wave, it looks very similar to the whole wave. The whole contains the parts, it looks counterintuitive, but the part also contains the whole. The artistic expression gave rise to a new concept in mathematics called fractals. Mandelbrot discovered nature's fundamental unit repeated through a geometrical pattern. The same geometrical pattern is present everywhere in the clouds, seashores, trees, and even in the human bodies. The nervous system looks very similar to that of lightning. The EKG of the heart signal is strikingly similar to that of a noise signal in telephone voice. If you further zoom in into the signal, the strange-looking pattern emerges. The pattern is discovered by Mandelbrot, bears his name Mandelbrot set. The nature around you, the snowflakes, trees, mountains are built from these series of Mandelbrot sets. We can also observe Mandelbrot sets at the beginning of life in a woman's womb. The equation that governs the nature is spectacularly simple and displays the nature in exquisite details. Before the public understood the power of the Mandelbrot sets, Hollywood jumped in. The Star Trek movies with the fractals put the movie watchers in a trance. There is a similar, a different kind of a trance was described by an American botanist, a former New Age hippie, Terence McKenna. He frequently experimented with a psychedelic brew called ayahuasca. He chronicled his experiences through books and videos. Amazonian Indians consumed this brew on ceremonial occasions. Terence McKenna claims this brew produced visual and auditory hallucinations while his eyes were closed. He claimed his experiences profoundly changed his outlook on life.
Many of them, and they come pounding toward you, and they will stop in front of you and vibrate, but then they do a very disconcerting thing, which is they jump into your body. They jump into your body, and then they jump back out again. And the whole thing is going on in this very high-speed mode, where you're being presented with thousands of details per second, and you can't get a hold on, you say, my God, what's happening?
In recent studies by Johns Hopkins and New York University Langone Special Unit Psychedelic Medicine Center conducted studies with the psychedelic drug psilocybin in a controlled environment. The chemical compound in psilocybin is dimethyltryptamine, in short called DMT. The studies show a single dose of psilocybin dramatically reduces the depression with the subjects of research. Interestingly, the visual hallucinations the subjects describing look very similar to Mandelbrot fractals. In the years before, Albert Einstein published the theory of general relativity, a profoundly mind-bending way of looking at nature. Mass tells space-time how to curve, and space-time tells mass how to move. Gravity is not a force, it is an illusion created by the bodies moving in space-time curvature. Einstein deployed a very different branch of mathematics called non-Euclidean geometry. We don't experience non-Euclidean geometry in our everyday lives. American Airlines pilot explained this phenomena through a tricky example. The shortest route from Dallas to Hong Kong is the first Dallas to Seattle, then Seattle to Alaska, then Alaska to Siberia, then Siberia to Mongolia, then Mongolia to Hong Kong. That is the shortest route. But you see on a flat map, it creates an illusion the Hong Kong is directly right across Dallas. But if you combine Einstein's non-Euclidean geometrical concepts with the Mandelbrot fractals, watching in a virtual reality devices, it is truly a technical wonder. It produces mind feasting, kaleidoscoping patterns where all your visual channels are fully occupied. It puts you in a trance and gives you same bliss without inducing substances. The fractals are nature's artistic expressions. Now you are in tune with the nature. Welcome to 25 milligram DMT experience without a DMT. Consciousness hacking through technology is a mass mental relaxation technique for modern humans. Thank you for watching.
So, the cathedra. So, as I proposed that the fractals, or mind is somehow related to this kind of relaxation. Watching visual, auditory stimulations, our mind absorbs very effectively. It is we are accustomed for that in the nature itself is embedded in this aspect. That's why people tend to we need some technology help for that so we can reach that things we can hear and see things much more clear through the aid of technology. So I think you're doing a great job. That is what you're bringing to the table. I'm glad me and I'm a part of that. Thank you for that. Taking my just simple my idea took the next level. I thank you for that. It is a really what you're doing is you're putting your passion, your where the passion and your fashion together. You put in this venture. I really appreciate your courage and your vision, and I wish you all the best. Anything you want to say? Any final thoughts, Cathedra?
Well, Ramona, definitely thank you. You have helped definitely allowed me to grow the seed that you planted with your extensive knowledge in technology and things of that nature, combining with the passion I have to help people mentally enhance. So I appreciate that from you. And as I mentioned, we're on a mission to train and manipulate allow people to understand how to manipulate those brain waves to reach a desired mental state so that we can have more happiness, more peak performance, and more peace in the world. So I appreciate you for allowing me to be on your platform to share that information in hopes that we can plant more seeds in different places as we're on a growing mission. Thank you.
Thank you. I can tell you tomorrow is a thank you, Kadadra. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow we have really truly exciting program. Tomorrow 3 p.m. afternoon. It's a special program. I'm honored to have Dr. Evan Alexander. You know that I was born in India. I grew up some of the things that he was talking about, and I by default I understood as a kid. But for Western minds, it's a very difficult. I think he is one of those Western, um, sage in my view. I consider him as a sage. Maybe he's a neurosurgeon, but a sage in that in the Eastern philosophy sense. I consider him as a sage. So his wisdom is profoundly, for us. important to all of us, and listen to him, what he is going to say about consciousness. How does it help? What is the consciousness is? How does it help to understand self-aware, that consciousness, and how the why physicians themselves need to know about consciousness, why the patients need to know about consciousness. I think it's going to be an exciting program tomorrow. I'm looking forward to Dr. Evan Alexander, Harvard trained neurosurgeon, is going to be on our program. I'm totally, he has written two books, The Proof of Heaven and Living in Mindful Universe. I've read both of them. It's just a beautiful things. It's for me, it's not anything, it's not, it is, I can take those aspects as something outside of the science. I thought those are all scientific in my view. So some people may not agree, but I think I truly believe those are scientific. And so he is the man of science. He can explain what went through tomorrow, 3 p.m. live here. Okay. So thank you. Good night, all of you. Yes, talk with you later. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll see you at 3 p.m. Please join us.